Thank you very much for honoring our invitation to be here for this evening's press soiree.
Our Father and our God, we thank you so much for granting us life and good health, and for this beautiful occasion to start our celebration of the 20th anniversary of postgraduate medical training. We thank you so much for how far you've brought us. This is indeed your doing, and it is marvelous in our eyes. We pray committing this program into your hands. We commit every aspect of it into your hands, and we pray that you bring it to a successful end. We give you all the thanks and all the glory in Jesus' name. Amen.
We'll move on immediately to call the immediate past president of the Ghana College of Physicians and Surgeons, Dr. John Nkrumah Mills, to give us a welcome address and purpose of gathering.
I've been introduced as the immediate past president of the Ghana College of Physicians and Surgeons. It is not the president of the college welcoming you. Well, today you learn something about the medical profession, something about doctors. They don't normally showcase their work, so people usually are not aware of the extent of the marvelous work that they do. The college also does not showcase its presidents just at any time. At the appropriate time, the college does. So keep being posted, and the college will do its show. It is my pleasant duty to invite you all to 54 Independence Avenue, Ridge, Accra, the home of the Ghana College of Physicians and Surgeons. The college was established with a mandate to promote specialist education in medicine and surgery and related disciplines, and also to promote continuous medical education of the professionals. Then also to contribute to the formulation of policies on sound health and public health in the country, as well as research in medicine and surgery and related disciplines. I must say that the establishment of the college was timely, as it slowed down a brain drain of professionals in the country generally, but also at the time, and as it afforded, because it afforded postgraduate training for the doctors, which was one of the main reasons for doctors emigrating at the time. For the 20 years that the college has been in existence, the college has worked very hard and has produced 1,690 specialist doctors, whom we call members, and 200 fellows. The fellows are specialists who have undergone further training and are senior specialists in the 16 faculties, 16 disciplines across medicine, physicians, and surgeons in just 20 years. We believe we should celebrate this, and also to let the people of Ghana know about this excellent achievement. So we have dedicated this year, 2023, to inform and educate the people of Ghana that this is what we have been able to do with the mandate they gave us in the year 2003. As we celebrate with them, we will also inform them of the exciting plans we have for expanding and accelerating the work we do. Already, we have increased our training centers. Yes, we do some training in our home, but most of the training, being practical and hands-on, is done in hospitals we have accredited for that purpose. It is not every hospital, but hospitals that have been accredited are the ones we use for training. We also have started training at the highest levels. For example, someone who already is a fellow with the highest level of specialization is undergoing training to be a hand surgeon. You can imagine the expertise and excellence this person will bring to solve the problems of people with hand conditions, whatever hand conditions in the country. So, ladies and gentlemen of the press, both the Inky fraternity and the electronic media, This is why we have invited you to help inform our people about our anniversary celebration and to show them what we have for them from this age on. You are all very welcome. Thank you.
Our chairman for today was educated at the Achimota School and the University College Ibadan. He trained in internal medicine and neurology in various institutes and hospitals in the UK. He is a fellow of the Royal College of the Physicians of London and the American College of Physicians. He is a foundation fellow of the West African College of Physicians and the Ghana College of Physicians. He has practiced in Ghana, Nigeria, Saudi Arabia, and the UK. He has held high administrative and managerial positions at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, Cocoa Clinic, and the Medical and Dental School. He was lecturer at the University of Ghana Medical School and vice dean of the University of Ghana Medical School. He was the foundation rector of the Ghana College of Physicians and Surgeons and is currently on the council of the Ghana College of Physicians and Surgeons. Please join me to welcome Professor Paul Kami.
Rector, past rector Soiree, Nana council member, fellows of the college, members of the college, fellow Ghanaians, members of the press. It's fortunate for me, I wasn't given any topic to speak about. So I'm just going to take a historical perspective of the meeting to lead you into further discussion. Because as I have noticed, we have about 50 minutes for question and answer, and I think that will be the more interesting part. So I'm not going to be formal at all. It seems unbelievable, but the Ghana College of Physicians and Surgeons is 20 years old. I really can't believe that we started this 2003. But 2003 was really the date that officially it came into existence, because it was then that the Act of Parliament established it as a recognized institution. But before that, work had started. Indeed, I was appointed the acting rector in 2001. So for us, we were doing the groundwork to try and see and bring into being the college which you're sitting in right now. There were many rivers to cross. There were many issues to argue out for and against the college coming into being. There were different shades of opinion, but the government in power had made it its manifesto promise that they were going to bring about a Ghana Ghana Postgraduate Medical College, and they made sure that it happened, despite quite a bit of rancorous discussion in professional circles. Local postgraduate medical education in Ghana started early 1970s, when the Ghana Medical School, or rather it had already become the University of Ghana Medical School, had linkages with the royal colleges in Britain to prepare our trainees for qualifications of these British colleges. In fact, it had been chalked that by 1977, Ghana would have its own postgraduate medical college. So it's a bit surprising that along the way, people became rather very extremely resistant about Ghana having its own college. Nigeria had established its own National Postgraduate Medical College by 1970. And by 1971, discussions had started among the British Commonwealth nations in West Africa to also have a postgraduate medical college. These countries, of course, were Gambia, Ghana, Nigeria, and Sierra Leone. And the discussions went on, and by 1973, they had all agreed that they must have a West African postgraduate medical colleges. And the constituent of this new college were the West African College of Surgeons, and then the Association of Physicians of West Africa. They came together and formed the West African Postgraduate Medical College. But each college, that's the surgeons and the physicians, had its own rules and regulations, and they awarded their own diplomas. But they came under the single umbrella of the West African Postgraduate Medical College. Now, so from 1973, the West African Postgraduate Medical College went into operation, and along the line awarded their own diplomas. So then you find, as of now, fellows of the West African College of Surgeons and then fellows of the West African College of Physicians. But by 1985, or certainly early 80s, politicians, especially the health ministers, had become a little worried about the output from these colleges. Their impression was that the colleges were not delivering. Of course, they needed to have physicians in every nook and cranny, if possible and if affordable, but they were not coming up. Well, I don't think the problem was mostly, it's difficult to apportion the blame and say it was fully that of the West African Postgraduate Medical College, because these were periods that the economic goings in the nations in West Africa were rather tough. People could hardly get chemicals in their laboratories to teach. There were hardly drugs. People had to scrounge around to get drugs to buy. It was a difficult period. And so obviously things were not going to be as successful as one would wish. But be that as it may, there was a general feeling that the colleges were not delivering. And there were murmurings around. Senior doctors in Ghana, the Ghana Medical Association, the trainees themselves, and indeed officials of the Ministry of Health were beginning to wonder whether Ghana should not really have its own college. And indeed, I did cite the memo as far back as 1985, which the ministry obviously had made up its mind that they were going to have a college, although this was not, had not been open to the public. And that is what we set out to do from October 2001. That is when I got appointed as the acting rector. Now, we started in the offices of the Medical and Dental Council near the Cocoa House, where I happened to be the chairman of the council, so I had a muscle to push people around and seize an office for the college. Because believe it or not, when I got appointed, I wasn't told that this is for your office, or this is your vehicle, or this is your salary. We were just given a letter, 2-paragraph letter, and say, you've been appointed acting director, give us a college. So one had to push and shove people around a bit to try and get things going. So we started at Medical and Dental Council, and later on, we looked around and moved to where you have the, what do you call it, National Development Planning Commission at Jawara Nehru Road, used to be called Switch Park Road then, quite near the Jubilee House. And that was where we were for quite a few years. And then we looked around to see if we could get a permanent place, because I was told right from the beginning that that was going to be a temporary place. And then we found this place, and with a lot of help from certain people, we were able to move here permanently in 2007. And the opening ceremony was chalked as part of the celebrations of the 50th anniversary of Ghana's independence. I must say, there were many potholes along the way, but serious moves were made towards consensus. I think we were successful in the end. Along the way, we had lots of help and cooperation. For example, the Attorney General's office helped in crafting Act 653, which established the college. And I cannot go on without mentioning the names of Mrs. Ofori-Boateng, Dr. Richard Anani, who was then the first first Minister of Health of the MPP government in 2001. He actually made the first move to say that we should get a college, and he went on to take the measures that made things possible. Then came Dr. Kwekwa Free, who succeeded him, and he was extremely helpful, because I remember having quite a bit of tussle at the Ministry of Works, getting a place. And one day he came down from his office, he and I, we walked from the Ministry of Health right to the Ministry of Works and Housing. And those of you who know the place, I don't know where the lift works now, but in those days the lift wasn't working. You have to climb about 3 or 4 floors to go and see the Minister of Works and Housing at the time, Mr. Yalberma, to try and get us a place. He was very, very helpful. Mr. Yalberma was extremely helpful too, because he took me around in his car, went around parts of Accra to try and identify places to get us an office. And then we settled on, he thought I wouldn't take it, but the National Development and Planning Commission office, where they are now, was in a pretty bad state, but I said I would take it because I saw that we could fix it, and it was large enough for our purposes. So we are forever grateful to Mr. Yalberma for his help. Now, of course, we built this place, and I stand to thank the architects of the company of Sekufo, Son and Partners, especially the lead architect, Mrs. Sylvia Labi, who took the trouble to design this rather eye-catching headquarters for the college. I'm particularly grateful to them because I can assure you there was quite a bit of pressure on them. And each time I traveled outside and I came back, I came and made changes. You know, for example, the auditorium was supposed to be originally for about 400. And then suddenly I realized that, hey, 400, that is a class, one class in Legon or someplace. It's not going to do anything. So please make it 800. And then I went to a conference in San Francisco, and I had a place which seated about 15,000 people. I said, what? 800 is not going to do anything. So let's go up. We increased it to 1,300 or whatever it is now. So, and they were extremely patient, adapted to our needs, and I must say, express our gratitude to them for giving us this edifice. But of course, we couldn't have done this without money. And the money came mostly for this project of a postgraduate medical education, came from the Dutch government. At the time, there was a lady called Mrs. Hefkins, who was then the Minister for Development Cooperation. And we made a presentation to her when she visited Ghana at Sunyani, in which we convinced her to give us the money. And whilst we were making the presentation, in the middle, she told a minister who was president at the time that, I'll give you $5 million. So she gave us immediately $5 million, and it was from that kitty that we've been able to execute this thing and other projects. So we thank them. But of course, this is not, I can't say this without mentioning the Ghana government itself. Obviously, their hand was in it all along. I mean, they guys gave us the land, they paid the salaries, everything for operations. But of course, this $5 million at the time was the impetus which made things possible. We had to get involved in some medical diplomacy, which meant we wanted to be known or seen outside, that we had arrived as a college, because, I mean, everybody thought we were still part of the West African College of West African Postgraduate Medical College, which we still are. Till today, we still are members. But we were trying to make a case that we wanted to do things in a special way, in a particular way, to advance the production of our postgraduates in Ghana. So this would take me on trips to the Netherlands, to the UK, to the USA, to South Africa, to Nigeria, to Canada, to Germany, to Tanzania, to Kenya. and quite a few other places. And I believe we established the links there, and particularly yielding fruit, the link that we established in the USA. There, we promoted the formation of the Ghana Physicians and Surgeons Association of North America. And Professor Danu is just telling me, he just come from a meeting with them. He arrived yesterday from the meeting. He was just telling me the seeds we sow are now bearing fruits. They are now fully signing up, and they want to participate fully in the activities of this college. And I take a lot of satisfaction from that. So from 2003, we fashioned programs that were relevant to our needs and yet met international standards. We wanted to kindle a flame of enthusiasm and pride in higher medical education. We aimed high for a college with a soul which identifies with the nation. Where are we after 20 years? That should be the question as we celebrate today. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Paul Nyami, for elaborate remarks and giving us an idea of the history of the Ghana College. I'm sure we are all learning a lot from this. Where are we after 20 years? I'll move on to introduce a very beautiful, God-fearing, and lovely person I admire very much. She's eyeing me, I haven't seen her. She's a consultant in transfusion medicine, was formerly the CEO of the National Blood Bank, where she worked for 30 years. During that period, she served as the head of the institution for 23 years. She is the immediate past faculty chair and chief examiner of the Faculty of Laboratory Medicine of the Ghana College. She is currently the vice president for the Division of Physicians and chairperson of the 20th Anniversary Planning Committee. Please join me. Welcome, Dr. Justina Ansah.
Professor Chair, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. And permit me to associate myself with the protocols already established. I am indeed very honored to participate in this press soiree and to introduce the 20th anniversary celebration of the Ghana College of Physicians and Surgeons. 20 years in the life of an individual organization is worth celebrating, particularly for an academic institution like the Ghana College of Physicians and Surgeons that has contributed significantly to medical postgraduate training in Ghana and ultimately to the health of the nation. We have very good reasons to commemorate the year in style. My simple task this afternoon is to introduce the activities lined up for the 20th anniversary celebration, which we have outlined in the 2-pager information sheet in your press pack, which we have provided. We have also included in the press information pack important facts for your reportage about the college. And some of these facts have been beautifully articulated by the chairman as well as the past president. So I'm not going to go over them. For example, you find out when and how the college was established, our mandate, our organizational structure, the divisions, and then the faculties that enable us to fulfill our mandate. The other information about our humble beginnings as a college, the successes we have chalked in the past 20 years relative to our mandate and our perspective for the next 20 years. So now I'll move on to the celebrations. The theme for the 20th anniversary celebration is 2 decades of medical postgraduate training in Ghana. The duration of the celebration is from April to December 2023. And I'll now give out the calendar of events, which is listed as follows. We started in April with the sensitization of fellows, members, residents of the college, and our sister colleges. And this we did on social media platforms. So this has been done already. And today we are organizing this press soiree, basically to sensitize the media. We have invited all major media houses, both print and electronic, to brief you about the 20th anniversary and the activities lined up for the celebration. So that is for April. In May, we would be having the launch of the 20th anniversary. That's a formal launch of the 20th anniversary of the college and the first public lecture. And this we have scheduled for Thursday, the 18th of May, 2023. It will take place at the college secretariat, and it will start from 2:30. Then in June, we have media rounds, and this we have scheduled interviews by selected key college officials. So we'll need the media again to the media houses to conduct interviews and tell you more about the college. In July, we have the health walks. There'll be one in Accra and simultaneously in Kumasi as well. And also health screening in selected deprived communities. And this will take place in Accra and Kumasi. In August, we would have our second public lecture. And then also we would have a fundraising dinner, and this will be held in Accra. We will tell you more about that. And then we move on to October. In September, we have major college activities like exams, so we don't have any activity in about the 20th anniversary in September. In October, we would be having a museum exhibition. We have a health museum in the college, and we would invite secondary schools to visit and like an excursion for them. So the museum exhibition will be set out in October. And then we'll be doing a donation to the community. And this is, we have settled on a donation to the Wager Leprosarium. So this we would be doing in October as a college. In November, we'll have our third public lecture. And also we'll be having a launch of a special 20th anniversary brochure, as well as a documentary about the college. So please watch out. In December, which will be crowning our activities, we'll have our 20th anniversary annual general scientific meeting. We'll also have poster presentations and exhibitions. And we will crown it all with a Thanksgiving service in Accra and also in Kumasi. And so we are kindly appealing to you, our friends of the media, to spread the information about the 20th anniversary celebrations of the college far and wide, both in the electronic and the print media, and help us make the 20th year a remarkable and a memorable one. So on this note, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you all very much for your attention, and God bless us all. Thank you very much.
At this point, we'll open the floor for discussions, question and answer session. We have our panel here. Our chairperson is also here. But before we do that, I'd just like to acknowledge the presence of Professor Ofori Ajay, past rector of the Ghana College. Professor Ofori Ajay.
Dr. John Nkrumah, I hope I got the name properly. He made a statement to the effect that this college has been key in preventing brain drain. I want him to throw or shed more light on that. He said this college, the college has been very key in preventing brain drain. So I want him to shed more light on that, please.
Brain drain, the college has.
In medical education, virtually every doctor wants to get to the highest level of training that they can get. And they seek this. initially, there wasn't any local medical specialist education or further education for the doctors until the West African College started. And as our chairman said, already arrangements had been put in place and people started some of their postgraduate training activities in Ghana and then will go outside for training. And this will be on scholarship. And the amounts would not be sufficient for everybody who wants to go every year. So it was only a few people who could get to go. So if you wanted to go, you had to go on your own. And then also, it happened that economic reasons had come in. So that it was better to go elsewhere, earn some money whilst training, than be here. So if you look at the figures are there. You find that a number of people were going, and as soon as the Ghana College of Physicians and Surgeons was established, the drain slowed down considerably. So that is the situation that we had. So the college slowed it down. And because of that, we had quite a good number of doctors at a time when things were difficult, and these doctors stayed and were working. But imagine what would have happened if the college had not come into being. They would all have left, and healthcare in Ghana would have suffered considerably.
My name is Samuel from TV Africa. As the council is celebrating 20 years now, what has been the critical challenge for as a council, and also as nurses and doctors always go for demonstration for their welfare? What are we expecting now as we are celebrating the 20 years now?
The challenges to do with the establishment of the college, Professor Nyami talked about that. I mean, some of the challenges going forward with the training is to do with the numbers of specialists that we turn out. The country has, our population is growing. We are moving quickly towards 30 million. And the number of specialists that we need in the country, we still don't have enough in terms of the specialists to the population ratio. And the people who are coming in for the training are also going in for some particular specialties like surgery, obstetrics, and gynecology. You have large numbers of people going in there. But we have very few people entering specialties like radiotherapy, laboratory, medicine, for instance. But we need many people getting into these specialties so that we can meet the health needs of the government of the people of Ghana. Another challenge, one of the things that holds back we being able to roll out specialist training to the level that we would like, is the issue of equipment in our hospitals, because we are limited in the level of training that we can deliver, especially in the area of subspecialist training, based on equipment available in facilities. I mean, we are pleased to hear of the government Agenda 111 and the putting up of hospitals. It's important for us to make sure that these hospitals have the appropriate equipment that we can use to deliver service and also provide training. In addition to the equipment, I mean, places where we have the public hospitals, sometimes the problem is maintaining the equipment. We get great equipment in, but we don't have the support services to make sure that this equipment are running all the time. In a specialty like radiology, you could get residents who are supposed to do a rotation in the MRI or CT scan units, only to be sent there and to find out that the MRI machine is not working. And it might not work throughout the residents' period of attachment there. To address these problems, we've started working actively on partnering with private and let's say semi-private institutions. There are some top-notch hospitals that are government affiliated but not kind of like fully government run, like the International Maritime Hospital, the Bank Hospital, which have very top-notch equipment. We are talking with them in order to partner with them so that the training can be smoother, and our doctors will have access to modern equipment that's used in the 20th century. So these are the equipment challenges that we are getting. You also mentioned things about doctors and nurses. I mean, is it complaining about their conditions of service? Is that what you said? Right. So in terms of the conditions of service, we are also, I mean, this college is an agency of the Ministry of Health. We are actively talking with the ministry and also about the funding of the postgraduate training. And we've had meetings with different stakeholders, including the GMA, the ministries, and the teaching hospitals, where we discuss things to do with conditions under which doctors would work and what all these different health-related bodies can do to improve the conditions. I mean, we can't look totally to government, for government alone to do it all. We need to ask ourselves, what things can we put in place so that the environment around which doctors work in the hospitals, and in terms of also income generation within these hospitals, how can we improve it apart from the direct salaries that are being paid by government? So these are some of the things that we are engaging in to try to overcome the challenges of training and the challenges that are faced after training when people graduate.
I'm Jamila Akwele Oketri. I write for the Daily Guide newspaper. Yes. I noticed that one of your mandates is to contribute to policy formulation. If you would kindly share major policies that this college has contributed in formulating and how that has impacted our public health system. Thank you.
These are the kind of questions that we want. I mean, this question is kind of like hitting at what I would say is our weakest link to date, is the contribution to policy. I mean, over the past years, the college has been involved in many collaborations with the Ministry of Health. There are different health policy meetings that we are invited to. I mean, currently, I think next month there's going to be a meeting on coming out with a policy on infection prevention, where the ministry has invited us. The college is sending a representative from the Faculty of Lab Medicine, and we will make an input to that policy. Sometime earlier in the year, there was a finalization of a family planning policy by the Ghana Health Service. So the family health division invited us and were represented by one of the gynecologists in that discussion. We work closely with the Ghana Health Service, and we are regular participants in their senior managers meeting, where they discuss different policies to do with health service delivery. So in that sense, we have contributed to policy. These are things that we do. However, we would like to be more active in the whole policy space. One of the things that makes it hard for us to be seen, and our immediate past president talked about visibility, is that almost every specialist doctor that you ask to come to contribute to policy discussion is a fellow of the college. Some of them are members of the college, but they are sometimes invited there as individuals, and it looks like Ghana College is not contributing. But then every single specialist in the country who takes part in some policy dialogue is indirectly representing the college. Now we are going to be more proactive and let people go waving the college logo. I mean, you all see it up there. You should capture it on your thing. So when people see this, they'll know that this is the college. So these are some of the things that we've done in policy. But then we've in recent times worked a lot on in policy things regarding the training of doctors. One of the big challenges, which was probably beginning to lead to a reemergence of the brain drain, is a long time that doctors took between when they graduated from school and getting into specialist training. We've over the past 2 years worked with the minister's office, and there have been changes in this policy that are being worked on being approved by the Ghana Health Services Council, so that doctors can get into training earlier and they don't have to wait for so long before they get into specialist training. There have also been policies that have would make it, let's say, faster for doctors to enter areas where many people are not entering. Like I mentioned, lab medicine, ophthalmology, radiology, radiotherapy, where people can enter these programs right after they finish their housemanship training. So we've worked with the Minister's Office to come out with policies that would enhance the training of postgraduates, in addition to our contribution to policies on health service delivery. But we really need to do a lot more to be more visible in the policy arena in the country. Thank you.
Can you tell us?
Okay, my name is Joseph. I write for Different, a Pan-African newspaper. For your 20 years of your self-delivering, what are your international counterpart collaboration in West Africa? Collaboration or with other West Africa health service. What are you? Thank you.
I'm being told the question was about collaboration in West Africa. Well, I think that was a prime object at the beginning of the college, because people who were not particularly in favor of the college coming into being did say that they thought that collaboration with West Africa would collapse. But we didn't think so, because we went back. I mean, I certainly studied the rudiments and the laws and the papers guiding the establishment of the West African Postgraduate Medical College. Originally, the aim of the West African Postgraduate Medical College was to be like a holding company with the other nations being affiliates. In other words, every nation was to have its own college, and then the umbrella body will be the West African Postgraduate Medical College. Now, when we started, we made sure in public statements at the relevant bodies that our aim was not to destroy any collaboration, but rather to put more emphasis where emphasis was due. We studied where we as a country were at a disadvantage in terms of the money we were spending, the output from the college, from the West Africa College, and so on and so forth. I don't know whether to say this, but for instance, it was easy. The headquarters was in Lagos, and it's still in Nigeria. I don't know whether it's moved to Abuja, but it's still in Nigeria. It was easy if, say, a scholarship came from outside to get a Nigerian to attend than to get a Ghanaian to attend, because it would take 45 minutes to nominate somebody by air. So we saw the advantage of having direct access to where some of the goodies were coming. And there were some other disadvantages we could see. But be that as it may, I've mentioned that I did a trip around several countries to try and get links. I did go to Nigeria and had a meeting with the National Postgraduate Medical College, the National Postgraduate Medical College of Nigeria. We became friends. I had meetings with the presidents of the West African College of Surgeons, the West African College of Physicians, separately. And it was agreed that there will be regular meetings between these bodies. So as of now, we started these meetings, but when I left, taken over by Professor Soiree, now continuing by Dr. Adanu, the meetings still are happening. In other words, there's mutual respect among the colleges which exist now, and they meet regularly, standards, and to find ways and means to collaborate. They all come under the West African Health Organization, where they meet also to discuss matters. And let me tell you, since we did our college, Sierra Leone have gone ahead and done and established a national college of their own. The last one I heard about was last year. We had a visit from the Gambia, visiting here, asking how this was done, because they wanted to do their own. And like some of us predicted, that it is eventually going to turn out to be a federation of national colleges of West Africa. It's unavoidable. And this federation, whether he continue to call it West African Postgraduate Medical College or not, will then establish standards for each nation to carry on and carry out the mandate of training specialists at the appropriate level. So the collaboration started very, very early to quash all the misunderstanding which was being peddled around, and happily it has continued until now. There is collaboration.
The collaboration started long ago, and it is ongoing. And interestingly, there's no competition. When there is a meeting of all the colleges that have been formed, it used to be tripartite and it became quadripartite. Now we didn't know whether to call it quintipartite, and it is there. They all meet, and I think it's probably going up to 7 by now. And when we meet, you present your programs, your results, so we learn from each other. So really, we are learning from each other. And to interest you to know also that even in the exams, we have external examiners from these various other West African countries. Of course, we have some from elsewhere. They come in to make sure that the standards you have agreed to have, this is the standard we want in the West African sub-region. So the collaboration is really deep. And as Prof mentioned also, the Gambian delegation actually came and joined us in one of our academic board meetings to see exactly, and they were free to make all their criticisms and suggestions. So it is really a collaborative effort, and I believe it would get better as all the countries come up and then we have these further meetings. So yes, there's no competition, and it is good for us. And I think, as you said, it's a federation. I think the original idea was a federation, and it is now coming up as a federation. So it is co-equal for all the countries. Yeah.
And the thing that we do together with for the collaboration with the West Africa colleges is that we make our facilities also available for them to use for exams. I mean, we have a computer-based testing center here that the West African College of Physicians have been using regularly for their exams. I mean, about sometime last month, I had a conversation with the Secretary General of the West African College of Surgeons, who are also saying that he came to look at the place, and they are also at the point where they are deciding that from the next exams, they are going to be using our facilities here for their exams. So we make the facilities available to them, not for free, but then not at the totally commercial rate. I mean, that's the partnership that we have with them in terms of the testing also.
20 years of postgraduate education in Ghana. If you take a look at all the health institutions you have, the specialists, the senior specialists, consultants trained, the Ghana College has an important role to play. Professor Nyami has told us we've come very far. 20 years on and moving forward, what are the prospects?
That we have listed the various college divisions and faculties. Just as said, there are 2 divisions, surgeons and physicians. And with the physician, we've listed them to make it easier for you. And these are doctors who have gone through the course and are specialized. And of course, the different specialties have been listed. And then we go to the membership and then the fellowship. And then they become senior specialists and consultants. So just what I want you to know that every single one of those specialties are very, very important. You need all of them, and the divisions, as my colleague said, are running very well. There are some that are even, some of the specialties, faculties that are those subspecialties. So the college is doing quite a lot, and just for ease of your reportage, you have it in your press pack. The list of faculties under the physicians, division of physicians, and the list of faculties under the division of surgeons. Thank you very much.
very, very important. No, I think 20 years in the life of the Kuku is not a very long one. But within those 20 years, this college has been advancing. I think in discussing the regional collaborations, one point that needs to be made is the fact that the model of the Ghana college is the one that other West African countries, apart from Nigeria, seeking to have their own national colleges, look to. In fact, the law that established the college in Sierra Leone is almost a mirror image of the law establishing the college in Ghana. And the Ghana college played a very significant role in launching our college in the future. The same thing goes for the Ghanaians. They've been swinging around, and I wouldn't be surprised if the same thing happens. So the model run by the Ghana College of Physicians and Surgeons in West Africa is becoming the preferred model for West African countries who want to set up their own national college. The other thing that the college has done in Ghana is that it has stimulated other health professionals who want to have their own college, again like the Ghana College of Physicians and Surgeons. So our role is more than training them. Our role is like setting standards for others to follow. And I think right from the beginning, people like us, I mean, who were in a set of things, we were small boys. I've done in setting up and organizing the structure of the college has in the end paid very well for the country itself and also for other West African countries who would like to have a similar establishment. And I think we should be a combination of all those who at the beginning contributed to the establishment of the college. With the college has several problems. I mean, the rector will also say, maybe you catch him in the corner. For the one-to-one meeting to tell you how much the Ministry of Health is. I've been through that, so I know. Maybe I don't know, but I think the country itself, having established this problem, having seen the way we run the country, should show more support than the college currently has in making things work. And there's no more that we can discuss. But may I also put into the media that subsequently we want our story to be. I do understand that there is somebody in the organization called the news editor who determines what should come out in the end every day. And usually they don't attend such meetings. Alright, today news editor, no. So I'm giving you an assignment. Please go and convince your news editor that between tonight and tomorrow, something about this Soiree can happen. And any time that you invite you to a conference, when you attend, you will report. And I think it's very important that we tell the story. We can tell our story, but we need someone to sort of broadcast this out. We are the only people that we have at the moment. We are not ready to set up a television station and a radio station. We will do so maybe for other reasons and not for reporting ourselves. Thank you very much.
What I want to say is that for 20 years of specialized education training for medical personnel has been very, very useful in the country. If we carry our minds back to the period when we have the brain drain. Now with the establishment, having trained about 200 fellowships and about 1,700 members, is a huge investment for the country. But our problem is that if you don't interact with the college, you will know what goes on in the college. But we have dedicated, hard-working academicians who are working around the clock to, turn the Ghana health space into a very credible entity. All what we have from the press is that we have two main problems. That is visibility, and then currency. For currency, there's no problem because we have very, very good and intellectuals who are working here. But I have to carry the message. If you don't come in here, you won't know what they do here. So that is the plea we are giving to the press to carry the message across in these 20 years of our celebration. Thank you very much.
We cannot start these programs without having the full complement of the staff that is needed to train in any particular specialty. So one is making an open invitation to the Ministry of Health and the Ghana Health Service to get into more serious discussion, not that it not be discussed, but to get into more serious discussion about isolating and identifying a couple at least, but maybe a few more than that, 3 or 4 places where this decentralized training can take place, and ensure that the required staff are put in place and the necessary equipment are supplied so that this training can be done. It is important. I can envisage a place like the Florida Regional Hospital becoming a training center which is properly equipped. And it can be run on the lines, maybe not with the smaller specialties, more minute specialties that we talk about. But as far as the membership training is concerned, and even getting people to do their research for the fellowship and so on, can be done. So we are making a public appeal to these two bodies, the Ministry of Health and the Ghana Health Service, to get on with it and try to get the personnel and the equipment in these identified, or whichever hospital they will identify, so that this decentralized training can get on. Now, so that goes for the infrastructure. And then, again, I will make a public appeal that maybe the pursuit of the Federation of the West African College is here. So let us stop pretending that, it doesn't exist. So I don't know, whoever are in a position to put it across that we better stop saying that a particular college is awarding qualifications, that the Federation replaces that particular college, and then each nation that has a college can award this qualification. After all, they will be according to the prescription of standards which have been set out by the Federation. So I look forward to the day where this prediction was made and a lot of stick was bandied around, but it's a reality which has come, because I thought there were just 3 colleges now, but now there are 7. Then the time has come, the time is now. It is necessary that this federation happens, because each nation has its own peculiarities. For instance, when we started, we didn't have any faculty of emergency medicine. I know all of you here are aware of the type of medicine we practice in this country. I made the observation in this country that Ghana, almost everybody going to a hospital is going there as an emergency. Because everything we get, we say is malaria. And we start toying around with the so-called malaria until it gets to the point where people have to be rushed to the emergency medicine. So these observations struck us quite forcefully, and we introduced the faculty of emergency medicine into our college. It didn't take long for people to see the light. And now I notice or I'm informed that another college or other colleges are also having faculty of emergency medicine. This goes to prove that there's always a national need, or nations should have the right to not be restricted by a so-called body which dictates which way they go. We are dealing with nations, not with people. So if the nation has identified a certain area where there is an emergency, then they should have the right to go ahead and establish or take the action which will remedy the situation. And so it goes for some other faculties which the Vice President of the Senate is
because we have new faculties are being established. And incidentally, those of you who are not too clear about what we mean by faculty, faculty is just a body who looks after a particular specialty. So if you take blood diseases, which we call hematology, they happen to come under the faculty of laboratory medicine. So they are a subsidiary. But if you take a faculty, if you take general surgery, that's a big one. So that's a specialist, a special area. So that is a faculty. That's the sort of thing we're talking about. So if ear, nose, and throat people break off or are hived off into it, then they become a faculty, because that's the specialty of ear, nose, and throat. I'm mentioning this because you see in the past, all of them, they are done in general surgeries. And some of us thought that a lot of time was being spent in general surgery, as important as it should be. But you recall that the lecture made an allusion to the fact that there are areas, although you produce 1,700 or 200 fellows or so, but there are areas where we don't have only one or two. And their progress, in my view, has been delayed because the one or two people who could start and put some impetus in developing those areas are delayed because they have to take instruction from the bigger body. But I think the college now has the courage to say that certain faculties are looking at. I know about neurosurgery, or not yet. Neurosurgery is on, orthopedics is on, otolaryngology, which is a long name for ENT, is also on. And again, it reflects the independence of this college to do what